Hey, welcome back to Flew to Find. My name's Chris. This is the Build and Learn series where LEGO builds and SolidWorks skills come together. Now, in this episode, we are nearing the end of our part modeling for this project. We have the front frame to create, which is going to use a sweep and a couple of other extrudes and cuts to create that geometry. Our two most intricate parts remaining in the assembly, our wheel hub and our tire. In this episode, we'll do the wheel hub, and we'll do all the detail that you can see. And the video includes detail shots of that real part as we're modeling along, so you can see exactly what we're trying to recreate. Let's get into it. Number 66, they just clip into those fronts there. Let's just check that this one. I'm not sure. Maybe. Is it the same one? Yeah, that's the one. That's the part. And so where are they going? They're going in those little front clips there. So we'll put one in. I need to get a height. So for height here, sit on that little face, and then get it facing the front. Apply material and mirror. Okay. Next. Okay, new part. This is a cool part with what looks like a sweep. All right. So we've got one of those and two of the yellow. Okay, so part number 67. That is a black bar 1x6x3 with 4 stars. How this part looks, no 3D, you get the idea. Let's build it. So here's what it looks like. A little Lego text on the inside. It does. Jeez, so fine. You can see some part identification on the rear as well. That there is a, is it a copyright Lego? Yes. Then there's a number, 29165. Item number 29165, it's there. Now here, 202, that's usually like a batch number. Okay. So yeah, cool part to do. Now what we're going to do here is sweep to create this round shape. You can see this is all round, all the way around. And it has a diameter of about 3.2 millimeters. So we'll do that, and then we'll do those bricks, those studs. So on the top plane, you start with that sketch, and our sketch is going to be the full shape. And we know the diameter is 3.2. If we just measure the outside width of the whole thing, which is 43.2, not this one here, and then we minus the diameter, we'll get the actual width that we need of the center line. We do the same thing for this side. We're getting 19.2 minus 3.2, it's going to be 16. And then we can guess estimate the radius, again with another estimate, another dimension, looking close to like 1.6. Press OK, and we've got a sketch profile at the bottom. I'm going to hit sweep, and instead of drawing the actual profile, sketching it separately, we're going to hit circular profile and change the dimension to 3.2. Now, how does that look? I think the corners look a bit small, a bit tight, so I'm going to increase that radius to 2, and that looks a bit better. Like, they are very tight, but before that was no good. Okay, and now we can do those stunts. So we'll use the top plane again, and this should be easy because they are central on that plane, on that path that we drew before. So we just need the diameters for them, which again should be pretty standard. I've got here a 6.4, and the distance between them should be there's a pattern of 8. So this one is 24, the other one is going to be 16. I'm not even going to bother dimensioning that. I just need to go, this one here is 12. This one being 16, we already know 16. All right, so I'm going to do one, and then I can mirror it twice. So this outer diameter here has a height of 5 millimeters, and it sits on the very bottom edge of the flat. So if we go and make it blind, and the step height is the standard 3.2. Actually, we can just go mid-plane 3.2, and that's going to be what we need. Because then on the top, we can do the brick, the stud, which is 4.8 with a 0.8 mil wall. Again, as a standard, to find the center point, 4.8, sketch in between, 0.8, extrude up, 1.6, going blind, and then we just need to do a cut in the bottom. And that cut is the normal sort of wall thickness. In this one, it's actually a little bit, it's 0.8, to put that in, and that's going to go up 2.4. Like that. All right, now this is a very simple one to duplicate, because I can grab those 3 features, and then I can grab the front plane and hit mirror, and it's going to put it over this side for me. And SolidWorks now also has the feature to actually mirror twice with a secondary plane. So I can do all 4 at the same time in the one feature. Press OK, and we're done. Just like that. Then name that part. There we go. Put that in. That was very quick and painless. Let's assemble it onto the front with 2 of those translucent yellow parts on the top. All right, so we're going to mate it to these little grippers here. Bottom one, let's use the right plane to get it properly aligned. Now, it doesn't have anything else that holds it in position, I'm pretty sure, apart from, it can't go down any further than touching here. So we can actually mate that with a tangent mate. From that face to that face, make it tangent, and that'll lock the position in. And that works pretty well in this example. Going to grab a couple of these, copy the material while I'm at it, copy, paste, and do the same, mate. These ones, though, reverse. So they're going to stick, obviously, on the front, poke out. So I'm going to grab a hold shift to select a transparent face. Makes things a little bit easier. One made there, the other one we will mirror, and paste the material. Also, this bar is black, so we'll just add that material. Okay, awesome. All right, that is on. Now we are up to our last couple of steps. We've got 1, 2, 3 more parts to model. And would you believe we've got one of the best parts left, the wheel. All right, how are we going to do it? Okay, so the wheel comes with 2 parts. You've got let's say the rim, and then you got the tire on the outside. Now, both of them utilize a lot of patterns. So when we're looking at the detail of these, we can see the white part has that axle shape through the middle, has 6 kind of pattern of 6 indentations around the outside. This section here kind of done with a revolve. And again, another couple of patterns on the inside. And quite a neat little part to do. The tire, it's got some Lego text. I look forward to putting that on. Again, a revolve, but then it's got a tread detail, which is patterned but staggered. So you got one, then the other, one, then the other. We can count the instances, and we could just do one instance of this and then pattern it all the way around. So we can do one either side, pattern all the way around. And then they've cored out some material here to reduce, wall thicknesses for molding. Little detail on the inside, that kind of lip there. That's what kind of fits into these details here. So yeah, let's get into it. We'll start with the hub. Now let's see what they've actually called it. It is a white part, and there, here we go, white wheel. Like, as a designer, I'm looking at that axle, that hole. Why wouldn't you line these up? Why? Oh, it's so frustrating. Like, it's not lined up either way. It's not lined up if it's, no, mate, this is what they've done here. Okay, I take that back. They've lined it up this direction. So you know what? We will do, we have to do the same thing? Yeah, we do. We put the cross to the side. All right, let's go. New part. We will start this with a revolve. And we will do the revolve on the right plane. And we will imagine it is a solid part going through the middle. We'll cut a hole afterwards. All right. So first, the full width. Now, I'll record this one as we go for the measuring, so you can see what I'm doing. Full width, 15 millimeters. Now, I'll come back and do the cutout afterwards. I just want to get the outside shape first. So I'm going to go up. I'm going to sketch these elements, right? So it has a little angle down, and then it comes down in. And then a similar thing on the way out. Up with an angle straight. Then this one comes straight down, across, up again. Now, I'm kind of a bit far off here, but we'll fix that soon. Down, across, and down. All right, so that's our rough outer profile. Let's start adding some dimensions to those. So this raised section on the edge that we can see can be a usual 7.8. Let's put a construction line in here. All right, so that we can measure diameters. So 7.8. And then the step that has is really small. It's at 1 millimeter. It's less than that, 0.6. Now the outside size of the rim. So calipers, outside 17.4. And that moves that section down. What I'm going to do is grab these other sections and move them down as well, like this. And then I can just trim to get everything to meet again. That's fine. Now this first thin section, 2 millimeters. This last section with a little bit of angle to it, 5.8 millimeters. All of these lines at the top are collinear. The gap between these two, 2 millimeters. Now, how skinny does it go? I'm not going to be able to fit my calipers all the way down to get that dimension. You see they kind of get stuck, all right? Can't quite get there. But I can get pretty close with my eye on this. And I reckon it's about 10 millimeters. That makes sense. Okay, so that's that inner face down the bottom. Now this face would be on the same level. The gap at the bottom of that one, we're guessing again, we can't quite get all the way down to dimension it. It's a bit less. It's 1.6. Okay, and then if we just fix up, let's say that these two lines here are equal. If we put a construction line in the middle, we could select all three and we could say they're symmetrical. Right, which it kind of looks like, you know, it's got a bit of an angle on that face and an angle on that face. What's the gap at the top? 3.2. That makes sense, I think. 3.2. And how deep does that angle go down? Most of the way. We can't measure it. Let's put in 2. Maybe it looks more than that. 3. Okay. And then our part's fully defined. Okay, now this inside face at the bottom, we can put this in. So we're going to sketch here, and that's going to come in, across, and across. You're going to trim away some measurements there, put our 15 back, and then measure the inside of this one, which we get about 14.5. The depth, that's this part of the caliper, 4, and then the inside hole, 8, or 7.8. If it's 7.8, it lines up with the front edge, so get that to line up. The depth of the inside, the very bottom, not perfect, but 7 millimeters. Okay, now we look like we've got a good part. Let's revolve it. Select this for that construction line. Nice, looking really good, yeah. Looking really good. Okay, we've done this detail before, this cut. It's about 4.8 as far as a round goes. And then the straight sections, 1.8. So we're gonna go to this face here on the outside, sketch that circle, and then put in one section, the corner. Now we're going to make that corner be perpendicular. We're going to get the center of it in line with the origin. We get the outsides of it to be horizontal. We're going to then pattern that with a circular sketch pattern 4 times, and then dimension between 2 of the flats to 1.8 millimeter. We're going to grab that center point, move it back to the origin. Everything's fully defined. We're going to trim away the sections we don't need, and then we're going to do a cut all the way through. Nice. Very nice. Okay. What other details we want to add? Obviously this patterning here. Now what that has is you can see how that face is kind of sunken down. That detail needs to go back into our Revolve. So we're going to edit our Revolve, and we can measure the outside wall thickness, about 1 millimeter, and the depth we can guess. All we're going to do is extend this little sketch here and trim away that gap. And what that's doing is creating this little depth section. Now I don't think I can measure that. We'll guess that it's 0.8. Then if we look at the angle, you can see it kind of actually goes up a little bit, like it's raised towards that edge. So I think we can put that detail in. All right, so it's good. We've done the cutout. Now we have to do the pattern. And to do the pattern, there's 2 ribs. So it's not right in the middle. It's like offset. Makes it a little bit tricky. I think we'll use like the top plane, which goes through the middle. We're going to do a section view. We will then draw from this face to this face. I'm going to turn on my Revolve. That's not going to help. I'm going to use intersection curve. Select that face to create an edge where that face intersects this plane, so that I can get a line that is just ever so slightly off the top edge, because this outside one I can pierce. Okay. Then I can measure how big those ribs are. So they're going 3.2 millimeters, and each of them is about 1 millimeter. So the gap in between. We're going to have to try a few things here. First, I'll try the rib. I'm not confident on this working, because you can see that on the outside there, it kind of jumps up a little bit. We don't want that. And okay, it should be smooth at that face. So we could try it a different way. That's not the right detail. And I want it to be really detailed on these little punnets here, because we could do the rib and then cut afterwards. That's one way of sorting it. Let's delete the rib. Let's cut it afterwards. So let's change the face that we're doing it on, and we'll do it on this outside face, and we'll sketch it a little bit differently. So we'll go like this with our dimension, 3.2, and then our other dimension coming through. What did I say? It's about 1 millimeter for each of them. Okay. We're going to extrude this contour and this contour up to this surface. You're going to offset that. So no, we don't need to offset it. Let's just leave it. We're going to uncheck merge result. I'm going to pattern it, do the circular patterning. So here I'm going to do a circular pattern using bodies, get my 6. And I wish I hadn't deleted the sketch that I just did. It's fine. Use the top plane here and just change my view ever so slightly. That's not going to work. Let's change to a section view. We can still select this face and get an intersection curve, because what I'm going to do is cut away material. This should work. So I'm going to sketch from here to here. This one is going to pierce, and then I'm going to continue that sketch all the way out to the end. It's going to come out to this edge. Once I turn the section view off, that'll work. I'm going to trim away that little bit. So this can be like 0.3. This edge can come right to there. And go across, cross, cross. Use the origin straight up. And then we're going to do a revolve cut. And we're going to select all of those bodies and we're going to merge them all together. Now, I wonder if we could do it without double merging. We probably could have. Like, let's take this one here. If we merge this and then we pattern that as a feature instead, so not the body but the feature, that works. We do our cut revolve, that works too. I just have to change that sketch ever so slightly, but that works, and that's probably easier, just less selections. That's going to be piercing there and that's going to be vertical. Okay. And yeah, so what do you think of that detail now? That looks pretty clean. All right, so that's the front of the part, the sides of the part. There's probably some fillets there, which I'll add on in a minute. On the back, we've just got a couple of holes. I'm just going to add those in as well. Is there any pattern to these holes? Kind of in line with the X's. So let's just draw a circle. Get the rough size, 12 millimeter. We can draw a line like this. We can right click the midpoint to get that in line. Both those for construction, and then sketch our hole. My hole being about 2 millimeters, maybe a bit less. No, that looks about right. But it looks more like 11. Yep. And then 6 of those things. An extruded cut 1 millimeter. That part is done. Oh, fillets, sorry, fillets, yes. A couple of fillets. 0.5 millimeter, 0.5 millimeter, and another 0.5 millimeter there. Now it's done. Excellent. All right, let's save that. Give it that excellent name, and let's move on to the wheel. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end. Really appreciate that. This has been the LEGO Build and Learn series by Fully Defined. If the next video has been released, it'll be on the top link to your right. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and leave a comment below with what you'd like to see next. Your feedback is what motivates me to provide more content. See you in the next one.